Hi, my name is Lori Hammerstrom, also known as Hammer. I've been with Smart Recovery since 2005. I've used the program for myself personally and have served in a variety of volunteer positions. This is an overview of the core tools of Smart Recovery. The first tool that we will look at is the cost-benefit analysis, fondly referred to as the CBA. You'll find that we use a lot of acronyms here at Smart Recovery. The CBA can be used in all areas of your life, but we tend to suggest it most often in connection with point 1, enhancing motivation to abstain. This particular cost-benefit analysis was developed by Jonathan Von Bretten, Director of Smart Recovery Online. The CBA is used to help the member look at their behavior along with all of its costs and benefits in black and white. We strongly urge participants to actually write out the CBA, as it is too much information to hold in one's head. Ideally, the person will be able to look at the data once it is gathered and make a well-informed decision about what he or she wants to do regarding this behavior. One thing to remember is that allowing participants to make their own decisions is a key element of the Smart Recovery program. There is power in choosing a thing for yourself, as opposed to being forced to do something. We start with the question, what are the benefits of my addiction? What do I enjoy about my addiction? What does it do for me? Often by the time participants arrive at Smart Recovery, it's hard to remember the benefits. Remind them that at one point there were benefits of their behavior, which is why they continued to repeat the behavior. During a meeting, it works to have everyone brainstorm answers, doing a sort of group CBA. That will keep anyone from feeling like they're on the hot seat. So, what are the benefits of your behavior? The buzz, a quick escape, the taste. It helps me fit in. I dance better, or at least I think I do. A social lubricant. The second question is, what are the costs of my addiction? What do I hate about my addiction? What bad things does it do to me and to others? Well, all the money I spend, that's an obvious cost. It's not good for my health. The DUI I got. Drinking and dialing, been there, done that. Lying to my loved ones. No self-respect. No self-control. Loss of friends. No one trusts me. The third question, what are the costs of quitting? What do I think I won't like about giving up my addiction? What am I going to hate, dread, or dislike about living without my addiction? Well, no quick escape, and there's no buzz. I'll miss the taste. Feeling awkward in social situations. I just won't be fun anymore. The final question, what are the benefits of giving up my addiction? What do I think I will like about giving up my addiction? What good things might happen when I stop my addiction? Well, I'll have more money and better health. Oh, I'll gain some self-respect and I'll be in control. I'll be able to deal effectively with my depression, finding new ways to enjoy myself, rebuilding my relationships. Once the participant has gotten this far, it can be very powerful to go in and add a plus sign next to the long-term benefits and costs, and a minus sign next to the short-term benefits and costs. It helps the participant to notice that most of the things they liked about their addiction are short-term, while the benefits of quitting are long-term. The hierarchy of values, sometimes called the HOV, is a great tool for enhancing motivation. This tool was developed by Dr. Joe Gerstein, the founding president of Smart Recovery. A great way to start this tool is to ask participants in your meeting to think about the 5 most important things in their lives. What are the 5 things that are most important to you? Go around the room and have each person share 3 to 5 things. Always allow people to pass if they choose. Keep a running list on the whiteboard or the flip chart. Okay, so your children, family, freedom, your career, your friends, physical health, mental health. Once the list has been made, step back and say, okay, so where do alcohol or drugs or gambling fit into this list? How do drugs or alcohol affect the things on this list? What you have done is to have created a dichotomy. On the one hand, you have what you say you want, and on the other hand, your actions do not support those things. By choosing to drink or drug or gamble, you are in essence putting that above all the things you say are important to you. Each time you drink or drug, you're putting the things you claim are most important to you at risk. It's a good idea for participants to spend some time brainstorming about what is truly important in their own personal lives. Suggest that if they want to make this tool more powerful, they can spend 15 to 20 minutes at home writing down everything that comes to mind that is important to them. Then go back and pick out the top 5 or so things that truly are the most important things in their own personal lives. Making a list of the top 5 and posting them around their home and workspace can help them remember why they're doing what they're doing and what they're risking by giving in to urges. Our next tool is called the Change Plan Worksheet. This is a great tool for point 1, enhancing motivation to abstain. This is a worksheet that lays out what the participant wants to change and how they will go about it. The worksheet includes steps you will take, who you can count on for support, assessment tools, and an evaluation of how important this change is to you. This is a tool that tends to work best as homework. Remember that assigning homework can be an exciting challenge for some and total drudgery for others. It's best not to insist that people do homework, rather offer it as an option that can make a powerful difference. The next tool is called Disarm. This tool can be used for point 2, coping with urges. Disarm stands for Destructive Image and Self-Talk Awareness and Refusal Method. The idea behind this tool is to teach people to recognize that we all have a little voice in our heads. You know the voice, right? Be silent for a moment and listen to what your voice is saying right now. For some of you, it's saying, voice? What voice? I don't have a voice in my head. What's she talking about, a voice? Yep, that's the one. That's the voice in your head. All people have thoughts, urges, and impulses. What we don't always realize is that we don't have to listen to that voice. The more we practice refusing to give in to that voice, the stronger our refusal skills or urge-busting muscles will become, and the weaker and quieter the voice will become. Some people like to personify or name their voice. I've heard people call it a bratty teenager, a drug dealer, the alcohol salesman, an evil twin, and even a tantruming 2-year-old. Once again, the choice is yours. Brainstorming can be used across the board for all 4 points. It works well in a group setting or can be used by oneself, such as the suggestion on the HOV tool. The idea is to generate as many creative solutions or ideas as possible. This way, the participant can choose what ideas will work best for them. Role-playing and rehearsal are helpful in points 2 through 4. By rehearsing what we're going to say in a tough situation, we're better prepared to carry out our plan. Our brains are so good at creating habits, which is how we got into this mess in the first place, so let's use it to our advantage. If we go unprepared to a familiar place where we would normally drink or drug, our brain will take that old familiar path of going along with the crowd. So by rehearsing what we're going to say and do when we get there, we've practiced a new response to a familiar situation. One way of doing this is to just practice in the mirror. Know what you're going to say and practice saying it with conviction. No thanks, I'm not drinking tonight. Often when people hear the words role play, they get a little squeamish. We use the role play in our training. You will each be participating in one. In all the years I've been doing this, I've not had one person tell me that they didn't like the role play. After the fact, that is. So in a meeting, what might happen is to have the participant play the role of that little voice in his head, and have another seasoned member practice using the refusal skills. Once the new participant sees how it's done, Have them switch roles. So, going back to our previous example, participant A says, "No thanks, I'm not drinking tonight." Participant B says, "Why not? What's wrong?" Participant A, "Nothing's wrong, I'm just not drinking." "Well, why not?" "Oh, I'm cutting back. Gotta watch the weight, you know. I'm not getting any younger." The ABC is the cornerstone of RABT, Rational Emotive Behavior Therapy, which was developed by Albert Ellis. This tool can really have an impact on our thinking. The more one uses it, the greater the impact. The A stands for the activating event. Believe it or not, the activating event is usually not all that important. B stands for beliefs. Beliefs can be rational or irrational. Another way to say it is helpful or unhelpful. Sometimes perfectly rational beliefs can be unhelpful. The C is for the consequences, the negative feelings or behaviors that result from unhelpful beliefs. D is for disputes, which is questioning those unhelpful beliefs. And E is for the effective new beliefs. So what are we going to do now? So, how are we going to use this in a meeting? Often we might start with the C. A person comes to the meeting angry and wanting to drink. Ask him or her why. What happened earlier today that has you feeling that way now? Can you trace your day back to before you were feeling this way? Jim said, "Yes, I can. I got up this morning and my grandson's trampoline had blown into my neighbor's tree." Here is where you bring the rest of the members into the discussion. We've all had similar situations that upset us, so we can all come up with some ideas of where Jim's thoughts may have been going. Can anyone guess what Jim might have been telling himself? This gets Jim off the hot seat. It can be embarrassing to admit to some of the irrational and unhelpful beliefs that hang out in our brains. Keep a list of the suggestions on the whiteboard or the flip chart. Why does this stuff always happen to me? The weatherman should have predicted this storm. I don't have time for this. I should never have bought that stupid trampoline to begin with. Then ask the participant if any of the ideas sound familiar. Jim, can you identify with any of these, or are there others that maybe you would like to add? Jim chooses, "Why does this stuff always happen to me?" When you're writing disputes, always put them in the form of a question. Maxie Maltzby and Albert Ellis listed 5 basic principles against which an idea can be judged as rational or irrational, reasonable or unreasonable, helpful or unhelpful. The first, if I believe this thought to be true, will it help me remain sober, safe, and alive? Is this thought objectively true? And upon what evidence can I form this opinion? Is this thought producing feelings that I want to have? Is this thought helping me reach a chosen goal? Is this thought likely to minimize conflict with others? Write up the unhelpful belief and begin the disputation. This stuff always happens to me. Disputation number 1. Is this true? When was the last time I had to take a trampoline out of a tree? Number 2. How does telling myself this help me to remain calm and stay sober? Number 3. What feelings does this belief create for me? Once that belief has been disputed, go back and dispute all the rest of them too. We arrive at the effective new belief. This is like a summary of the exercise as well as a new way to look at life. E. Effective new belief. Having to remove a trampoline from the tree is not terrible. It's just an inconvenience I have to deal with. Upsetting myself over it is not going to make it go away. I might as well deal with the issue and get on with my life. It will be a great story to tell around the water cooler. Our last tool is called a VACI. VACI is Vitally Absorbing Creative Interest. It's used for lifestyle balance. A VACI can be anything that will keep your mind busy and that brings enjoyment, pleasure, challenge, and richness to your life. Look back at what you used to do when you were younger. Explore new things that you've never tried before. Life has so much to offer if we open up and look around. Some of our trainees have suggested that the training needs more teaching of the tools. The tools are not difficult to learn how to use. Look in the library, go to the online meetings or face-to-face meetings, and watch how other facilitators introduce the tools. Read the message boards where you will find many examples of every tool being used. But true understanding of the impact and usefulness of the tools comes when we use them in our own lives and see how they impact our thinking. The beauty of the Smart Recovery tools is that they are not just tools for recovery, they are tools for life. So practice, practice, practice. Love your tools. Use them daily. You will soon be living a life you have created, a life in which you are in control, a life you love.